We started looking at America. We became aware of something called PASPA being repealed, which was a bill that stopped sports betting, basically, that meant that they couldn't do it legally in America. That was repealed back in 5 years ago or so. And at that point, we thought, that's interesting, because that's going to mean, you know, there's a very competitive nation. You know, they love the sport over there. That's going to become a problem over there. And it was really towards the end of 2019 and early into 2020 that we saw that there was an opportunity to go over there and work with the NFL Players Association, amongst other major leagues and a couple of the gambling operators over there. And it was probably the best thing we ever did.
I joined Epic Risk Management August 2021 after several months of kind of going back and forth and thinking about the next steps in my journey. I dove in, you know, head first, like I do with work, and I absolutely love it. I love being part of a team that shares a sense of purpose.
The opportunity to join up with Epic was, to me, a no-brainer. Epic is in complete alignment with what I want. I want to raise awareness. I want to educate people about the dangers of this, because many people just don't understand it.
You know, we've been Epic Risk Management for 9.5 of the last 10 years. What few people know is that actually at the start of the journey, back in 2013, we were actually called Epic Problem Gambling Solutions. It was only after doing some work with Boston Consulting Group and a couple of other teams of consultants that they felt that for the audiences we were trying to reach, that probably wouldn't be the name that would attract them. For different reasons. So we became Epic Risk Management around that time. As business has grown and as our client base has grown, you know, it's worked really well for us right up until sort of 2020 when we started working over in America. I think because of the confusion that it's caused in our biggest market in America, we had to find a name and a brand that was going to take us into the next decade, into the next stage of Epic. What's going to be the name that really resonates, says what we do, and really, you know, articulates the business really well.
Epic's identity is changing. From December the 12th, gone is the Epic Risk Management name that we've all known for as long as we've been involved. And in its place, we're going to be representing Epic Global Solutions.
And we think Epic Global Solutions very much fits with what we do. We provide solutions around this and we do it globally. So it really just feels that it's more fit for purpose for what we're going to try and achieve in the next decade.
I went to a directors meeting, and in that session I presented some of my thoughts about the Epic brand as though I'd experienced it already in my other business. The first thing we did a lot of research. We're trying to understand what should we change, why should we change it, what problems did the existing brand have that we wanted to solve for. We did internal surveys, external surveys, internal interviews, external interviews, research about any potential competitors in the space. We highlighted a few things that we wanted to solve for, and then we moved into what we would call like the brand strategy phase. So within that we did workshops with the staff at Epic, trying to understand how or what do Epic want to communicate to the customer. How does that differ to what the customer currently potentially feels or thinks? So then from my brand brain immediately looked at like the product and the service, and I was like, okay, this is highly emotional, highly warm, highly powerful. And I looked at the visual identity on the outside and some of the messages, it just didn't connect. The phrase I would use, and I use this internally, was the contents of the book were amazing, like pure magic. But for me, the book cover didn't match. It just didn't do it justice.
But what we really loved about this process was that we were able to really get to know the Epic team. We were able to build a really strong relationship there. And I feel like that in turn has created a really successful identity, because it wasn't just a design project. It wasn't just a quick facelift or a quick rebrand. It was really something where everyone was able to contribute. So I feel like the final outcome wasn't necessarily just created by myself and my team. We sort of helped turn it into reality, but the actual brand was really built by everyone, and that's so many people involved, and that's something that really excited us about it and that we're going to feel proud of forever.
The rebrand has future-proofed our brand as a whole, both in name and visual representation. As we grow as an organisation, we become more recognisable, and we want to make sure that that visual identity is accessible to anybody in any industry, whilst remaining cohesive and easy to communicate with. There's been a very subtle tonal change in the colours for the new branding here at Epic. And the reason behind that is we wanted to make sure that the colour palette was accessible, it wasn't shouty or as bold as it previously was, and that it was more representative of a gender-neutral palette rather than being bold and brash. It was more approachable and calm, and more representative of our approach as an organisation.
I think we've evolved a lot, so I don't see any reason why that won't continue to evolve, and that probably starts with the new branding, and that will continue where we hope to grow to more countries, access more people, and through all of that are able to mitigate more harm, because it isn't going away and it is becoming more important to do that.
Yes, so the impact of the rebrand is really exciting. Really emphasises this kind of celebration of our 10 years. Also, though, it kind of emphasises where we want to go and what we want to do in the next 10 years and beyond.
I would say in the next 10 years, I would like Epic to achieve allowing more people who've had journeys like mine to be able to access fulfilling employment within a subject that means a lot to them. I think we've probably got 15 or 20 people here now with lived experience, and it allows them to have another chance and to become successful and to use the past negative experience to create a positive. And I think that will always remain the most important thing, certainly to me.
Yeah, I think we're in a brilliant position to leap into our second decade. There's a lot of hard work ahead. There's more and more people coming into this market now, which is great. I never see that as anything but a good thing, because it's a big nut to crack, and we can't do it ourselves. But yeah, we're really excited with the position we've got, the first mover advantage we've got on certain elements, and the second decade should be equally, if not more, successful and impactful as the first.